Well, hello friends, and welcome to another WSIB Truth Matters with Joe Machado, where I separate the truth from bullshit, facts from fiction in plain English. In my last video last week, I told you that I was going to be making a big announcement this week. So I'm very excited to share this with you. It's been in the plans and in development for the past 3 years, and I think it's going to be a game changer for sure. All right, so without any further delay, let's get at it. All right, friends. Well, listen, as most of you know, those of you who are subscribers and who have been following the channel, last year I launched the Preferred Legal Provider program with WSIB Settlements. And so the program was to create a network of lawyers and paralegals throughout the province with the skill and experience to be able to help our members and our subscribers and viewers with representation with the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board and the Workplace Safety and Insurance Appeals Tribunal. That was launched about a year ago, and it's been functioning very, very well. We've made some adjustments to the system to make the referrals to our preferred legal providers more seamless. In other words, when making a referral, we wanted to make sure that it's not like you're sitting down with someone for the first time to go through your case and then determine an action plan. They actually, with the referral, they actually already have a report from me based on my review, so that they look at some of the issues that I believe were critical based on over 35 years experience of dealing with the WSIB. And of course, they're going to bring their own expertise as well to really provide a well-rounded level of support and advocacy that injured workers need throughout this province. So while we did that, we've made some adjustments, and now we are launching LegalPro Connect. LegalPro Connect is an organization where you will be able to seek a referral to a lawyer or paralegal who can handle your particular case. I'm not just talking about any lawyer or paralegal. There are many, many good lawyers and paralegals throughout this province and throughout the country who do very good work in their respective fields. And I salute them for that. I appreciate that. However, we wanted to make sure that we provided an elite level of lawyers and paralegals who were exceptional in their field of practice, who understood the laws, the policies, the inner workings of the WSIB, the Workplace Safety and Insurance Appeals Tribunal. I wanted to make sure that we would make a referral to an organization, whether it be a lawyer or paralegal, who was successful in their practice, not just occasionally, but on a regular basis. Now, sometimes success can be open for interpretation. I view success in a manner as looking at a lawyer or paralegal who argues a case and is able to rely on every resource available out there to be able to successfully argue that case. That lawyer or paralegal may not necessarily argue as many cases as, let's say, a general practitioner, but their rate of success is much higher. That's what I wanted. So over the past year, we've been creating these relationships, refining our referral system so that it's seamless. It's like I'm assigning a file to someone in our office whom I know is the best equipped to handle that particular case, as I did often with my paralegal firm and the paralegals who worked for me. I really believe that that is the level of experience that is required to effectively deal with the WSIB and the tribunal in this day and age, because in over 35 years of dealing with the Workplace Safety and Insurance Board, I have never seen anything as worse, as so horrible, as detrimental as what they're doing now to injured workers. You have case managers and directors and even the president ignoring experienced, qualified medical reports from general practitioners to specialists to psychologists, right? Just ignoring them. Placing people in a vulnerable position of having to decide between seeking care for their condition and paying for it, or being pushed into a work situation where they clearly can't do and their doctors are telling them that they shouldn't be doing. This is where we're at. We're at a level where people are playing fucking doctors in this organization and ruining people's lives in the process. I can't emphasize that any more than what I'm trying to, and I have over the last 3 years in the videos that I keep posting. We have reached a critical level of dealing with this organization because they don't conform to what is normal, and they believe that they are beyond reproach, that they're untouchable. And the only way to fight that is fire with fire. And I needed to create the most powerful team to fight these fuckers and win. So you know, if you've been watching the channel and following along, that I'm very, very passionate about this, and I can't separate my feelings from, I just can't sit here and tell you stuff and rhyme off pretty words to make everything look pretty when it's fucked. It really is fucked up dealing with this organization who has destroyed thousands of lives throughout this province. So yes, I took my time very patiently, very deliberately to bring the best on board. And now I'm excited to share that with you through LegalPro Connect. WSIB Settlements isn't gone. WSIB Settlements, our legacy startup to help countless of injured workers, as we've helped over the last 3 years, through videos, through providing resources. We've helped thousands of people over the last 3 years with WSIB Settlements. But WSIB Settlements will now become a part of a much larger picture, a much larger organization. With LegalPro Connect, we are now not restricted to helping injured workers with their WSIB claims. Over the last 35 years, I have seen how difficult it is to win or to get accepted by Canada Pension Disability. I've seen how difficult it is to fight a long-term disability insurer when they're trying to cut you off and take away your benefits. I have seen how employers will violate the Human Rights Code and force workers, injured workers with restrictions, into a job that they're not able to do, or finding a way to get rid of that worker, which would be considered wrongful termination in many cases if looked at by a specialist in the field. I set out to make sure that I could provide the expertise in wrongful termination, in human rights, in Canada Pension Disability, WSIB, and workplace safety and insurance appeals. Because you can't minimize how important it is or trivialize how important it is for you to get the best possible representation in dealing with some of the most significant life choices that you may have to make today. And someone who isn't really specialized and experienced and successful in these areas isn't enough in my books. I took my Mercedes one time to a mechanic that was referred to me by a friend. He said, Joe, you go to the Mercedes mechanic, he's going to charge you $250 an hour. I forget what the rate is, or somewhere around there. This guy's pretty good. He's going to charge you $100 an hour. He knows what he's doing. He's a mechanic. He's a licensed mechanic, right? So I did that. Well, you know what? It ended up costing me more because there was something else that needed to be fixed, and it wasn't. So then I'm $400 down. I learned my lesson. I'm going to go back to the Mercedes dealer. But you know what? When it comes to making decisions as to who you're going to have to back you up, to have your best interest in mind at all times, with life-changing consequences, you want to have the best of the best. It's not to say they're always going to win, but I'll tell you, they will be the best of the best. I did the work over the past year to make sure that that would be the case. And as you know, my friends, I'm never one to feed you a line of bullshit. Never did, never will. I'm not that guy. I'm blunt. And the WSIB doesn't like that I'm blunt, I'm direct. But you know what? Fuck them. I don't really give a shit. Because they don't work for me, nor I for them. We work for you and our members. We wanted to make sure it was a seamless transition. So it's very, very seamless. You become a member, you get referred to one of our preferred legal providers to handle your case. It's not just another name or phone number on a card. No. Before that referral is made, the case is reviewed, and then we make sure that the case is referred to the person or lawyer or paralegal who is best equipped to handle your specific issue. Because no two issues are the same, not when dealing with these organizations. I can tell you that. Whether it is an insurance company trying to limit entitlement because you've transitioned between having to meet the criteria of not being able to do your own job for a year and then, or 2 years, and now all of a sudden they have this broad interpretation that you're not able to do any job beyond that when your disability kept you from doing your regular job for 2 years, right? But they do that. They do that to terminate your benefits, keep money in their pocket, and that's just the way the game is played. And the same thing with Canada Pension Disability. You know, the whole transition or the what needs to be met in terms of that it is a prolonged disability and that it is severe. Well, I mean, that can be interpreted in so many different ways. They leave it open for these broad interpretations when your own doctors are saying that your condition is both severe and prolonged. But again, in most cases, you have to fight them. And then you deal with the ambiguities when it deals with, not the ambiguities, but how to actually put together a wrongful termination case that will demonstrate beyond any doubt that the employer has gone against the law to try and screw you over and is trying to pay you less in the severance package than what you're entitled to, what you're owed, right? These things are important. All of these considerations, or a lawyer or paralegal who's experienced in dealing with the Human Rights Tribunal, so that they can discern whether or not an action that's being taken by your employer is in violation of your rights or not. It's important that these lawyers or paralegals can do that. The other thing is, when it's a lawyer or paralegal who's looking at an issue with whether that your human rights might be infringed on, when the WSIB and the employer are all saying that, yeah, you should be able to do this job, that it is within your restrictions, while your own doctors are saying no, that you can't. And they're both piling on and tag teaming to push you out of a job, to quit. And how about the WSIB in their own policies limiting loss of earnings benefits to workers who are 65, and those workers want to continue to work beyond 65. But they don't get the same LOE benefits as someone who's 55, 40, 20, or whatever. Why the fuck is that right? We watch this in plain sight, where these organizations will flagrantly ignore your rights and screw you over. Why? Because most of them think that you cannot have the ability to fight them, to put them in their place, to make sure you get paid what you are entitled to receive under the law, and to ensure that you and your family are not being taken advantage of. Because they don't care. They don't give a shit. So you know what? What I decided to do is, rather than just provide this level of service for Ontario, we now have legal providers who can provide it across the country, except for Quebec, but that's going to change probably in the next couple of weeks. Whether you're from BC, Alberta, Manitoba, Saskatchewan, if you have a problem with your compensation board in your province and you're getting screwed over and you need help, or a long-term disability insured, or Canada Pension Disability, or you have a human rights case, a wrongful termination, go to LegalProConnect.com. We have a brand new website to meet the demands and the requirements of what I decided we needed to provide, so that anyone visiting knows exactly what we do, how we can do that, and how to get it quickly. Because time is of the essence in dealing with any and all of these issues. And you know that, my friends. And when you're on the website, each one of these categories, you'll be able to fill out a form very specific to the particular issue you're dealing with, whether it's WSIB, WSIB, CBP, LTD, and someone will review that, do an assessment, and let you know whether or not we can help you, whether your case doesn't have merit. And if we can help you, we'll tell you exactly how to do that, because we're going to match you with the person or organization who has the best possible chance to win and to get you success. All right, my friends. So thank you for the time to watch this video. Thank you for those of you who've watched my videos over the last 3 years and the subscribers. I really appreciate your support, because without you, I wouldn't be able to get this message across and continue to provide and expand and build these services that people desperately need. I want to build an army of legal providers that can put these organizations back on their heels and tell them, no fucking way. You're not going to fuck me and my family. It stops now. All right, my friends. And as always, if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. It's free. Like my videos and share them, because there are thousands of people throughout this province and throughout Canada that are getting screwed right now. They need help. All right, my friends. until the next time, we'll see you again. Take care.
Navigating a complex legal claim can feel like an uphill battle, but you don't have to do it alone. At LegalPro Connect, we bridge the gap, linking Canadians with experienced lawyers and paralegals nationwide. For deeper insights into your rights, join our community at WSIB Truth Matters, where we expose the truth behind the system. From injury claims to employment rights, get the successful representation that you deserve. Contact LegalPro Connect today. Professional matching, preferred results.